Today we're going to do another variation of the Marabou jig. In my previous video we did a very basic one. Today we're going to do a slightly more elaborate one. Debob the hook. And then this part, flatten it. Okay, now normally we anchor it here, but for this fly we're going to anchor the thread here. Okay, Marabou feathers. You take 2 or 3, make sure you align the tips of the feathers like in the previous video. Make sure the tips are aligned in height so they all end roughly at the same height. Next, pinch it down this way. Some people strip off all these feathers to expose the quill. I don't, because I prefer to have more material for the glue to hold on to. Now we decide how long we want the tail. Let's do a pretty short tail this time. You can either tie it off at the bottom here or at the top. Because my vise is like that, it's a bit hard to hold, so I'll just tie it off here instead. 3 very loose wraps, because now we're going to spin the material around the hook shank. See? Try and cover the hook shank. Once you're satisfied, put a few more tight wraps around. Make sure again that the material is uniformly covering the circumference of the hook. Now you can cut this off and then follow through and leave your bobbin here. Now we're going to use some super glue to make it more durable. I've only started using super glue to anchor the materials in the last 5 years. I've noticed a very big difference in the durability of the fly. The materials don't come off as easily. Next, we're going to tie in some crystal flash. 4 of these, we'll tie it off from the top. Make sure they are the same length. I don't think I have to elaborate. It's a pretty popular technique. Okay, nice and tight. Pull it to either the same length or a little bit longer than the tail, and then split them 4 per side. What I'm doing is I'm pulling them down to the side so that they sit sideways and instead of on the top. Okay. Done. Chenille. Today we're using a medium chenille in a fluorescent chartreuse color. We're going to wrap this chenille up all the way here, but you don't normally anchor the chenille this way. You want it to sit underneath the wraps. So we advance the thread a little bit up to here, put the chenille on, and just simply anchor it down back to where we started. And then we move it back up, and this part, anchor it around the eye of the jig. Whether you want to put super glue is optional. I've not felt that that is needed because we've already anchored the chenille on the belly. I like to wiggle it as I turn because I feel it helps the chenille not to crush each other, so that more of the chenille is facing up and it's not crushed by the thread below. Okay, once you think it's okay, tie it off. Okay, pull it tight and snip it off, and then give it a few good wraps. Okay, let's give it a little bit of red flash here. This is roughly 5 strands of red crystal flash. Decide where you want to anchor it. I want to anchor it right on top here. Let's cut it here. This is pure preference. Spread it out a little bit. You can pull and just make it flare. Okay, tie it off. Super glue. Just 1 drop. Tease it around. When you do it close to these, right, try not to get the glue to go up because it will stiffen the whole assembly. So just let it flow down the sides here. Oh, too much. At this point it's a risk. You might get your tissue paper stuck. There it is. You can color the head and stick on ice, but your Marabou jig is done. So wonderful action underwater. This part actually, when the fish bites down, it provides some lifelike resistance, like flesh, you know. The fish will more likely hold on to the jig longer. My experience fishing these things reflects that as well.